Hey guys, I hope you're ready for lots of motivation. So I'm bringing you along for my little Sunday reset. We're going to be doing some freezer meal prep, a dump and go recipe, planning for my week, doing some deep cleaning, just getting ready. I will be deep cleaning my washer and dryer and just sharing so much with you. So I hope you're ready. We are going to get it done together. If there is something that you don't want to do right now, you can join me because these suitcases have a ton of laundry in it. Do not want to do. So I'm gonna challenge you. Go do something that you don't want to do. Put me on your TV, your tablet. We're gonna get this dreaded chore done together. Hey friends, welcome to Jamie's Journey. If you're new here, I'm Jamie and we just got back from Gatlinburg. My husband's cousin got married. It was a beautiful, beautiful cabin and ceremony. We had so much fun and we got back and we had lots and lots of laundry. It's really hard to travel during this time of the year, or specifically where we were going, because the temperatures are kind of all over the place. So we definitely overpacked. Mike and I both overpacked by a lot, so there was a lot of laundry to be done because we weren't sure how cold it was going to be, how warm. It honestly ended up being way colder than we had anticipated, so it was good that we overpacked because we had plenty of stuff. So we just got back. Luckily my mom watched the girls while we were gone because it was with Mike's family and his family went. So my parents watched the girls, took them to school, were at their sporting events and things like that. And my mom did all of the laundry. So I didn't even have to do their laundry. So that was nice. But I was trying to get caught up on laundry and just get my house back in order. It was clean before we left, but because kids, this is how the mess looks like at the end of a day. So I have fallen down the stairs twice within the past year, which I know doesn't sound like it's that much, but I fell pretty hard. And the one time I'm pretty sure I fractured my tailbone. I was in pain for 3 months. And I've noticed that if I keep up on vacuuming and raking the carpet on the stairs, I don't slip as much. So I think the carpet almost gets matted down when I don't vacuum it enough. So I'm making it a point to start raking and vacuuming it more frequently. If you guys are curious, this vacuum is my Tineco Power Hero 11 cordless vacuum that comes apart so I can use it as a hand vacuum. And the hand rake I will have linked in the description, but that just kind of gets below all of the carpet fibers and pulls up any hair, fur, anything that's in there and just fluffs it up so more comes out of the carpet when I vacuum. So I always feel this sense of wanting my house put together and clean and everything in order before we leave for vacation, and I always make for sure I do that. Like, we were walking out of the door and I had my Roborock vacuum going, and then when we get home I also have this urge to get the house back in order, get laundry done, get the laundry put away, and get the house cleaned up again, because a house, if you have your kids around, it never stays clean for long. So that was my motivation. And honestly, you kind of get back from a vacation and you don't want to get back into the swing of things. But at the same time, I'm always just so motivated no matter how tired I am, because I crave that routine for me and just feeling like my house is back to normal. You come back and you have all of this laundry to do. And of course, you have laundry to do every single day. So the longer you wait, the more it piles up. So I like getting home, unpacking my suitcase as soon as possible, and getting the laundry started. So here I was just wiping down our stainless steel appliances with the Sprayway stainless steel cleaner, and then I was going to clean the pendant lights with my DIY cleaner. It's 1 part rubbing alcohol, 1 part water, and about a fingernail size of Dawn dish soap. And I've tried a couple different cleaners for my pendant lights because they're glass, and to be honest with you, that DIY cleaner cleans it way better than any glass cleaner I've used. But I want to thank you guys on last week's video. So if you guys didn't watch last week's video, I had to make a comment because in a recent video, someone had made a comment about my husband being lazy because I had cleaned out his car. And I've said in last week's video that I don't address negativity. I just don't like complaining about it because it is what it is, and you guys don't want to hear me complain. So I rarely will ever bring up negativity. And I just had to bring that up because it was about my husband, and the outpouring love and support for him just blew my mind, and it just made my heart feel good, because the last thing that I would ever want is someone to think something negative about my husband, because he is the most selfless, patient, and caring man that I've ever been around, and he does so much for our family. And you guys came out fighting for me, and you understood my feelings. So from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you enough for building him up for me. He didn't care. I mean, he appreciated the support, but like the negative comment, he didn't care, but it meant a lot to me. And again, I always say thank you to you guys for just showing up and being here, but just the supportive community. You guys give so much back to me, and I can never thank you enough. So thank you. Forget on day 3, I'm bringing you along for a little Sunday reset, freezer meal prep, making a dump and go casserole for that night. Okay, so we are gonna clean my washer and dryer. Now, I did this not too long ago, but it's clear that it needed to be done again. So with our washing machine and all of those cracks and crevices of the washing machine and the dryer, you can see detergent buildup, lint, and all of that. So this Bissell Steam Shot hand steamer just does such a wonderful job of blasting everything out, and it allows me to get like under the lid of the washing machine, and it just does such a great job. So I was using that to get in all of those areas, and then wait till you see how much lint came out of the front of the dryer, which is insane because the lint trap is on the top of the dryer, but lint always gets trapped in the door as well. It's really, really crazy. So here's your reminder, go clean your washer and dryer.
It's like you almost know what I am thinking, 'cause I believe in us. I won't give up on you. I will be holding on for life, 'cause you're the best thing, the best thing. You're the best thing that I've ever had. You're the best thing, the best thing. You're the best thing, 'cause you're the best thing that I've ever had. Best thing, best thing. Best thing that I've ever had. Best thing, best thing.
So in my videos, I like doing the high point to my week and the low point to my week, just to share a little bit about like what's going on in my life other than cleaning. And I'll be honest with you, I like to start out with the negative or the bad part of my week. And to be honest with you, I almost didn't tell you what the true low point of my week was, just because I don't know, I was hesitant, but I decided I wanted to be open and honest because it was truly the low point of my week. And you know, as my channel has gotten bigger, I have scaled back on what I've shared just because you're always going to get opinions. But when you're on a bigger scale, a public forum, you get more and more opinions, and it is easier just to scale back on what you share. But I also want to be real with you guys and not portray a perfect life. So the low point to my week was Mike and I got into an argument, which I almost didn't want to share it, but then I'm like, but that's nothing to be ashamed of. That happens. Do Mike and I have a perfect marriage? No. I would say we have a very good marriage, but it obviously is not perfect. So we got into a argument, and it was probably like a bigger argument. I'd say like it wasn't like most of the time we just like bicker back and forth, you know, like just little things. And this was a bigger argument, nothing serious, but it was just one of those arguments where you don't talk for a little bit, other than, you know, dealing with life stuff. Like I said, it was nothing serious, but to be honest with you, it was actually something really, really stupid. But we got in an argument, and I was not happy with him for a couple of days, and I'm sure he wasn't happy with me for a couple of days. But we're all good now, and yeah, so just wanted to share the low point, you know, it's life. So yes, the only reason why I was hesitant to share that is because I've had people make assumptions or judgments on much smaller things, like super basic things. So it just makes you be more protective, especially of your family, like the people who you love the most and who you're the closest to. So that's why I almost thought about not sharing it, not because I want to portray a certain image at all. But the more I thought about it, it's like, no, I have ups and downs just like everyone else. And even the most perfect couple has arguments. So I thought I'd be open and honest with you guys on that. But like I said, we're all good now, but the positive, the high point to the week was Avery had a softball game and she got her first hit. And so like Avery's actually really good at softball. She has good hand-eye coordination, but she's tiny. She's pretty small, like short, and by far the smallest on the team. She also is playing, she's the youngest person on the team as well. So she's the youngest by far, by a whole grade level, and she's the smallest. And she gets so nervous when she gets up to bat. Like she hits it like crazy at practice, but then she gets up to bat and I don't know what it is. She has a good swing, but she just gets nervous. And she finally got her first hit, and it just boosted her confidence. And as a mom, I love seeing her get excited about her accomplishments. She's worked really hard. Her and Mike have been practicing a ton. And I just like seeing her hard work pay off, because that's what it's about. I always tell her, at this age, they think, oh, it's all about, scoring the goal or getting the hits. And no, that's not what about. Just focus on the fundamentals and try your best. I always tell her, if you try your best, that's all that matters. But of course, it just makes me feel good to see her get excited when she got that hit. So definitely the high point to my week, to see the joy in her eyes. School. I'm gonna do like a quick burst of cleaning up here with our bathroom and then the girls' bathroom, and then I'm gonna run our Roomba, the robotic vacuum, in the girls' rooms to try to tile their rooms together. Now typically on a Sunday I like to just do like a super quick pass through of the house, have everyone just pick stuff up if we can. Obviously it's not a Sunday for me, but this is what I would typically do. Probably not as detailed, but it's more having the kids help me and just like picking stuff up. So I'm gonna do that really, really quickly, just so I can feel like our house is back in order as we're finishing up laundry and getting the house back in order after we were gone. So to wipe everything down, I was using my DIY cleaner, the same cleaner that I use for the pendant lights, just to quickly wipe everything down. That's like a great cleaner if you just need like one cleaner to quickly clean everything. It's not like the most heavy duty cleaner. Like if you have a really dirty bathroom, that's not going to do the trick for you. But if you're just doing like a quick wipe down like I'm doing, it's great for that. But here in a minute, I'm going to ask for your opinion, especially if you are a parent. There again, like there's certain points you're like, do I share this? Are people going to think that I'm not a good mom to one of my daughters or to my other daughters because I do this or that? But again, showing how I am not perfect. I am learning. And I think as parents, we're always learning and trying to figure out the best course of action. And, you constantly question yourself. If you're like me, I'm always questioning myself. Am I doing the right thing? That's like the mom guilt. Like, am I doing the right thing? You try to trust your gut and your instincts, but then you're just afraid of ruining your kids in some way. So I need your advice here soon. I'm gonna run the Roomba in here in Avery's room, and I'm really curious. You know, my oldest is a 7-year-old, so I'm still figuring out parenting as she gets older because it's my first time experiencing that age. So I had Avery clean up her room. I ended up helping her last night because the twins got in here when she was at school and they made a mess of her Barbies. She was upset, understandably. And I had told her before dinner, go up and clean your room because I knew I would be vacuuming today and I wanted it to be clean. And she was like, well, I didn't make the mess, my sisters did. And I'm like, okay, you're right. And then I was trying to decide what to do because in this instance, she did not make the mess. It was her sisters. So I was thinking about this and I wanted to be like, well, you know, I was getting dinner. Mike was doing something with the twins. So I was like, can you just go please clean your room? But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, what is the right course of action here? She did not make the mess, but I know, and I want her to learn that as a family, we all help each other out, right? We're all contributing to the family and running a family and a household. And of course, as a parent, I'm going to clean up after my kids. Obviously, that will never change as long as my kids are living here. And all of us parents do. I don't think there's anyone out there that can say they do zero if they do nothing for their kids. So I was thinking about this and I'm like, well, I clean up after you and your sisters, or, you know, I clean up after everyone in this home sometimes, even though I didn't make it. And I understand it's a completely different dynamic, but I was trying to think of a way to teach her a lesson that I know sometimes we don't make the messes, but we still have to clean up after each other. It would be helpful if you can go clean my room. And then I know some of you guys are probably like, well, you should have had the twins do it. They made the mess. And I have had them do that before, but with her Barbie stuff, there's so many little tiny pieces. It's really, really important that either me, Mike, or Avery get in here and put it all away and then organize it, because if we don't, then a lot of the little toys get lost. So it's just not good when they do it because they just chuck everything around. Now there's other instances where it's not Barbies where I have made them, like they'll pull the books out of her bookcase back there and I'll make them go and put the books back. So this was just a one-time situation. And I don't know, we had the conversation of, you know, sometimes we have to help each other out and clean up even though we didn't make those messes. But then I was like, but is this fair? Because she truly didn't make the mess. I don't know. So I was like kind of going back and forth. I ended up helping her clean up a little bit and she was totally fine. She didn't argue with me about it, but I don't know. I was just curious in that situation. I'm sure, like I said, this was a specific circumstance because it was the Barbies. If it wasn't Barbies or something a little bit easier for the twins to handle, I would have had them do it. I guess moral of the story, I should just make sure more so that they don't get in here. But I don't know, just kind of something that I'm trying to learn different things as I go. And I know a lot of you guys are parents if you've been through it. So if you guys have any insight on how you would handle a situation like that or how you did, let me know. And I hope all of that makes sense. Like I was trying not to be too mean. Like I'm trying not to be too mean of a mom. Like you still gotta clean it up. And then, you know, making her clean up the messes that her sister did and not making her sisters do it. But it is different when you're dealing with 3-year-olds versus 7-year-old. You know what I'm saying? So she does have more responsibility, but we do give her more freedoms and reward her more. And I think that's a conversation that we do have a lot with her. Like, yes, you know, we do treat you different because you're 7 versus 4, but look at the stuff that you get to do that your sisters don't because they're 3. I don't know if these are the right things to say. And I hope I'm not like, I hope you guys are not looking at me like, oh my gosh, Jamie, what are you doing? What are you saying? Like you're doing it all wrong. But I'm just trying to be the best mom as I can and make the right decisions. So if you guys have any insight on a situation like that, please let me know. So recently I was asked if we were planning on getting another dog, and the answer to that is no. So if you're new here, we had a golden retriever yellow lab mix. Her name was Reese, or Reese Cup. Reese, we kind of called her all of those, and she passed away. I think it was in late February, early March. She had cancer. She was 11 or 12, I forget, but she was pretty old for a bigger dog, and it was really hard on specifically Mike, because Reese was his dog, and it was hard on everyone. But the answer to us getting a new dog is not anytime in the near future. So first off, we want to get settled in the new house. We're not going to have grass for a while because it's a new build, and that can come with its own set of challenges with the dog. So we want to get into the new house, we want to get settled, and then we want to evaluate our life when we get settled, meaning what are our schedules like? If we're gone constantly, what's going on activity-wise? So when I say reevaluating our lives, like what's our activity schedule like? Are we gone 3 days a week? Are we, you know what I mean? We just want to make for sure with the dog that we're as present as we can. And this is in no way like judgment to you guys if you guys, get a dog and you're really, really busy. I'm not saying that. We just, in order to get a dog right now, we just want to make for sure that we have the time to devote to that dog and give them all of the love and attention that they want. And I will also add in that I am not the biggest pet person in general. We did have a cat and a dog, but I'm just not the biggest pet person. And I feel like that's so rare because most people love pets, and I'm just not a big pet person. And our kids, they loved Reese. They did, but they don't ask for another dog, which I'm kind of surprised at. Our best friends, they just got a dog after their dog passed away a few months before Reese, and they already got a new dog, and Avery goes over and plays at their house all the time with their daughter, and she doesn't ask for a dog, doesn't want one. So I think it would be different if the kids were begging for one, but right now we're putting that on hold, and we'll wait and see once we get settled in the new house. If you guys aren't familiar with eCloth, I actually have a 10% off coupon code in my description, but it's great because you just use water. You just wet that pad with water, and the way they are made, they're engineered with specific fibers that remove 99% of bacteria, which is pretty insane considering you're just cleaning with water. And it's just nice because if you need to just mop super quickly, or this is really nice to keep. I keep one in my kitchen. Actually, I have one upstairs and then one downstairs. And so like last night, one of the kids spilled their chocolate milk, and I wasn't gonna mop the whole floor. And I just whipped this out because all you have to do is like literally wet that with water, and then you can throw it in the washing machine to clean. So it's very easy and quick, and it's just really, really great. Hey guys, so I'm bringing you along for a few of the tasks that I do every single Sunday. It always just makes me feel better when I go to bed on Sundays, and I feel ready, or as ready as I can be for Monday morning when I do all of this. So I'll bring you guys along what I do for hopefully a successful week.
You know ain't no friends, so tell me what are we? You know that I hate this game.
So like I said, these are kind of the tasks that I do on Sundays. Now this is not a Sunday because we were gone on Sunday. So we got back on Monday, and most of the cleaning you saw me do on Monday, I did. So this is still the stuff that I would typically do on a Sunday if it was like a normal week and we weren't traveling. The girls were at school on Monday, so it gave me the chance to do all of what I did previously, and then this was Tuesday and I was trying to like get caught up on the week. So on Sundays I just tried to, number one, we typically get groceries delivered or we'll pick groceries up. I try to get them organized in the fridge, and I'll kind of look at the fridge. Like you'll see it wasn't really dirty or messy, but that one shelf just looked kind of gross, or not gross, but you know what I mean. It needed to be wiped down. So I'll just quickly like eyeball the shelves, wipe things down, organize the groceries, throw anything out that needs to be thrown out. Like no major cleaning in here, just like a basic organize the groceries and get everything set up in the fridge and the pantry for the week.
Hey, what you thinking? Stop playing all these games. You apologize. Always say that you're sorry, but why does it feel the same? It's like nothing's changed. I used to keep my cool, but when it comes to you, I do whatever you want me to do. I used to keep my cool, but when it comes to you, I always fall head first when I'm with ya. I never think before I do. I always fall head first, but believe that I'm the fool when it comes to you. I always fall head first when I'm with ya. I never think before I do. I always fall head.
So once everything's organized in the fridge and ready to go, which by the way, I have been on this mission specifically with moving to use up as much as we can out of the freezers and in the pantries. So if it kind of looks like things are kind of getting bare, they are, because I'm really making a conscious effort to plan meals and snacks around the stuff that we already have because we don't want to move food. So this is a snack bin that I keep stocked for after school when the girls want a snack. It's not like a fight, like, you can't have a cupcake, you can't have this, go grab a healthy snack. So it's like they can choose what they want out of that bin. So I always keep that stocked in the fridge. And then I was meal prepping this meal for this evening. Literally a dump and go casserole. So I use chickpea noodles because they're healthier and they add a little bit of more, vegetables and protein. You just pour in some marinara sauce, 3 cups of water, some Italian style meatballs. These were frozen and the recipe calls for them to be defrosted, FYI. Some Italian seasoning, and then I added some cheese on top. So I will have this recipe linked below. It's literally so easy, right up our alley, and just pop it in the oven.
I got an ache inside of me. It's a deep hole where I bleed. Oh, can I seal it? You're like an ocean without land, not a single grain of sand. I'm drifting on it. So cold yet warm when you hold me.
So then next on Sundays, I meal plan. And obviously that's part of grocery planning. So when I plan out my groceries, I obviously am meal planning at the same time. And then I write out what we're eating for dinner on this little board. I got it from Target. And that way that just lets everyone in the house know what we're eating that night, but also gives me a reminder. So if it's like Monday and on Tuesday we're having chicken tacos, I know, okay, on Monday, make sure you set out some chicken to be defrosted. And then this is our family calendar that we write everything down. So softball practices, soccer games, we have an open house, we have an event Mike and I have to go to, picture day, dentist, all of that. And it's just like the family hub, so even Mike can notice it because he writes it down in his own calendar. I write it down in my calendar, but it's just nice to always have that reminder right there in the kitchen because you can't miss it. And then the next thing, I wanted to do some meal prep. So I wanted to make some chicken noodle soup because it's that time of the year. And in fact, when I was making this day, Emery was not feeling well. She actually was sent home from school. So I ended up I was meal prepping this. I was going to put it in the freezer, and I got these individual containers that are great. They're freezer safe, so you can make some soup and then save it in individual containers and pop it out when you need it. And I think chicken noodle soup is perfect for that. So when someone's sick, you just pop it out of the freezer. So this recipe is so easy. I'll talk a little bit more here in a minute, but I'll also have it linked below. Like I have some shortcuts that I can tell you what I did because I love a good cooking shortcut.
I'm a lost case. I'm a man.
Girls, twins, are not. So as I'm meal prepping this today, Emery actually has a runny nose. She's been sneezing a lot. So even though I'm going to freeze a majority of this, I am boiling up some noodles that I'm going to use for their lunches today. So these were the containers I was talking about. They're freezer safe, and they're great because, you know, if I make soup for myself, I would eat one of these myself. The twins would probably split one, but I'll have them linked below. Okay, so my shortcuts. I believe, do not make fun of me, you guys. I think it's called poi mix. You can get it frozen. So it's carrot, celery, and onion. And it's frozen, chopped up in the freezer section so you can keep it on hand. So this chicken noodle soup, I got a rotisserie chicken because rotisserie chicken is so good. So rotisserie chicken, I use the frozen poi mix, dump that in, add some seasonings, some broth, and that was it. Oh, and then you don't put in the noodles because you're freezing it, and sometimes noodles can get kind of weird when you freeze it and then thaw it out. So for this, what you do is you make the chicken noodle soup and don't add the noodles, and then when it comes time, all you have to do is boil your noodles, and that's so much easier. So like when you want a homemade, you're not feeling well, you just want that homemade soup for dinner, but you don't have the time or even the energy. If you have this stocked up, all you have to do is boil some noodles. So it's so easy. And like I said, the girls weren't, well, Addison was feeling fine, Emery was not. So for lunch, as I was making this, I just boiled up a little bit of noodles for them and gave it to them, and they had a good hearty lunch. I got so preoccupied with Emery not feeling well and lunch and all of that. I forgot to close up the video, but you guys know how important it is for me to get on here and just make sure you guys know how much you mean to me and how grateful I am to have you guys all here. So thank you so much for sticking around, and I hope you like these Sunday reset videos. If you guys do, let me know, because they're kind of fun for me because they're all stuff that I do anyways, and I find them motivating because I like seeing people get like 10 things checked off, and there's nothing better than having a good productive Sunday to set yourself up for a good productive week. So let me know if you guys specifically like these Sunday resets or if it doesn't matter. It's always nice to get a little bit of constructive feedback either way. So thank you guys so much, and there will not be a second video next week. Next week it'll just be one video, but then the week after that it'll be 2 videos. So just so you know, my posting schedules every Sunday and every other Thursday. So I will see you guys next Sunday. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.